Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas with Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown for your Friday. This is August 7th, 2020. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry for the couple of minutes off. We are having some serious weather here in the Florida area, especially the Central Florida area. So if you guys are in the same area as me, please stay safe, okay? Stay safe out there. Anyway, as always, we'd like to extend an invitation to any business owners who want to advertise, looking for a platform to advertise on. Florida National News offers 5 different shows. If you'd like to learn more, just shoot us an email at ads@floridanationalnews.com to find out more. We'd love to get started with you. And of course, to start our evening news rundown, we'd like to give you guys the latest COVID-19 reports globally here in the United States and in the state of Florida. So globally, the World Health Organization is reporting over 18.9 million COVID-19 cases and over 709,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the United States, we've broken the 4.9 million mark in confirmed cases, according to Johns Hopkins University, and the 160,000 mark in terms of confirmed deaths. Here in the state of Florida, the Department of Health is reporting over 510,000 confirmed cases and well over 7,700 confirmed deaths. Now, in our world news story, a quick update on the nation of Mexico. Their death toll has now passed 50,000. The health ministry there on Thursday reported nearly 6,600 confirmed cases and 819 fatalities within the last 24 hours between Wednesday and Thursday. And that brings the country's totals to nearly 463,000 cases and over 50,500 confirmed deaths there. Now, the virus is spreading quickly there because just over 2 weeks ago, the health ministry was reporting 40,000 in terms of their death toll. So pretty big jump between 2 weeks and where we are now. So given those figures, Mexico is now the 3rd highest in terms of the COVID-19 death toll, 3rd after Brazil, which is approaching 100,000. And the US, of course, as you heard me just report, approaching 160,000 deaths. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. The health ministry officials there have said that the number of both cases and deaths in Mexico are likely significantly higher than reported. And as you guys heard us report previously, that has a lot to do with availability of testing equipment. So we'll continue to keep you posted. Now, jumping here to the United States, you likely heard the story by now of Ohio Governor Mike Dewine, who initially tested positive and then negative for COVID-19. Now, as part of protocol with anyone that is meeting with President Trump, they have to take a rapid test before they meet with him to make sure that they are negative for COVID-19 to make sure he doesn't catch it. So Governor Dewine took that rapid test and he tested positive on Thursday at the time, which was a surprise for him when he got off the plane. He said that was a surprise to him and his family. He got to the airport and found out shortly thereafter that he tested positive. So obviously he could not meet with the president. Now that was, earlier in the day. Now he took another test at Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center. And by Thursday evening, the results came back and he had tested negative. Now, you might be wondering why, if you didn't explore the entire story, but the reason why there were 2 different results is the kind of test that was administered. Now, there was one particular kind of test that was given with the rapid test, but the one given at the Ohio State University's Medical Center, that one was a PCR test, the polymerase chain reaction test, which is a much more negative and more detailed kind of test. So that one came back negative, and he actually did a second one. So he wants to make sure that he's going to do some more PCR tests to ensure that he and his wife are negative. They both took the test late Thursday, and the test results came back negative for both of them, as well as the aides around them. So good news for Governor Mike Dewine of Ohio. He's saying he's trusting the results from the PCR test as opposed to the rapid test that he got earlier in the day. So that was what the difference was with that, just the difference in the kind of test that was administered to him. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that as well. Now, jumping here to the state of Florida as it relates to COVID-19, Governor Ron DeSantis has now rescinded the tri-state area quarantine mandate that he issued several months ago. Previously, you guys remember the tri-state area was a bit of a national hotspot. New York State, New Jersey, and Connecticut, those areas was a big hotspot nationally for COVID-19. So Governor DeSantis issued that quarantine mandate. Anybody coming from those states had to quarantine for 14 days. As you guys have heard us report recently, Governor Andrew Cuomo has turned the tables, and he is now, along with the tri-state area, issued a a 14-day quarantine requirement for anybody coming from the state of Florida and 33 other states as well that are hotspots. But as of Thursday, Governor Ron DeSantis decided to rescind that mandate. So now if you're coming from the tri-state area to the state of Florida, you're fine. You won't have to isolate for 14 days anymore. Additionally, as part of the executive order that he signed on Thursday, he also eliminated some of the detailed requirements for restaurant employees as to when they should be kept from reporting to work or when they should be sent home or should be kept home. The earlier order had spelled out that restaurant workers should stay home if they were showing COVID-19 symptoms, had been in contact with an infected person, had traveled through an airport or been on a cruise ship in the past 14 days, or had been ill with the virus but hadn't had 2 negative test results in a row. So the executive order has now rescinded that as well. So the latest order replaces those details with language stating that the State Department of Business and Professional Regulation should ensure that restaurants have screening protocols that follow the CDC's protocols. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with a few more news stories for you. Stay tuned.
Big business and special interest groups have begun their attacks on Rick Singh on social media, radio, television. They want to make sure he's no longer in office. Have someone, anyone but Rick Singh in office. And the reason is simple. They don't want to pay their fair share and expect you to pay it for them. Now, the question is, do you want to pay it for them?
All right, guys, welcome back. And jumping into our next U.S. story, the Justice Department will be sending agents to St. Louis and Memphis as part of the expansion of Operation Legend. You guys heard us report about this. This is, of course, President Trump's plan to send federal agents out to several cities to address spikes in crime, such as murder, but also in terms of vandalism and things like that when protests have a tendency to escalate in certain areas. So St. Louis and Memphis are the 2 most recent cities that are going to be assigned federal agents. And much like the previous cities, federal agents from the following agencies will be sent. So the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the Drug Enforcement Administration, and the U.S. Marshal Service. Now, the operation was first launched in Kansas City, Missouri, as you guys will recall, back on July 8th, and has since been expanded to Chicago, Albuquerque, Cleveland, Detroit, and Milwaukee. So another spot to stay tuned on. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. Coming to the state of Florida. Now, this is a bit of bright news in Daytona Beach. A $46 million Veterans Memorial Bridge is now open. It opened as of yesterday. The Old Orange Avenue Bridge is now formally called the Tomstead Avenue Bridge and opened to the public yesterday morning. So congratulations to the folks at Daytona Beach. And the significance of this bridge is that it has been renovated. The $46 million project was supposed to be complete in 2018, but was delayed due to weather and other factors. So now that it's open, it should allow for increased traffic flow. So it was a bit of an emotional experience. District 2 Councilwoman Billy Wheeler said that, it was very emotional. She said, she was glad that they were finally able to get it open, and hopefully it will help the businesses in the area. Now, the bridge honors local businessman and veteran Tomstead. It also serves as a tribute to fallen veterans. It has a 2-lane bridge with handicap accessibility, 8-foot sidewalks, fishing piers on both sides of the Halifax River, and plaques at 28 spots along the bridge commemorating conflicts in U.S. military history. So a bit of good news coming out of Daytona Beach there. Now, a couple other Florida stories for you, jumping to Orange County here. The Orange County Property Appraiser's Office just recently got a favorable ruling or favorable opinion from the 5th District Court of Appeals in its ongoing case against or with Disney in terms of the valuation that they kind of been going back and forth for quite a while now. And so the 5th District Court of Appeals has actually ruled in favor of the Orange County Property Appraiser's Office. In part, the press release reads that the 5th District Court of Appeals issued an opinion granting an amended motion for rehearing filed by the OCPA. And, further, the court withdrew its previous opinion and issued a substitute opinion in its place. But this all has to do with what's called the Rushmore method of appraisal. which is a professionally and accepted appraisal practice and used throughout the world. And they were wondering whether it was appropriate for the use of Disney's premier property, which is its yacht and beach property. And the OCPA office sought clarification on whether it was still an appropriate methodology. So the District Court of Appeals is ruling that it is still appropriate. So Orange County property appraiser Rick Singh was pleased to hear that ruling. He says, quote, "We are pleased with this ruling, which is clearly in our favor. We're also grateful that the court has clarified its opinion on the Rushmore method and continues to dispute Disney's low valuation of their own property." He said, "We now return to our work in arriving at a fair and accurate assessment of the resort in accordance with the court's recommendations and look forward to a resolution of this case." So that's a bit of an update in the battle between the OCPA and Disney. We'll continue to keep you guys apprised of what's going on there. And another quick Florida story for you. It was recently announced by Florida congressional lawmakers, Congresswoman Val Demings, Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy, and Congressman Darren Soto. They announced today that the Link system that is here in Orange County is actually receiving a $2.84 million competitive federal grant. So congrats to that. The Link system will get a renovation. They'll get some updates. The federal funding will be used to rehab and replace aging buses, vans, and facilities to ensure Central Florida's public transportation infrastructure is modern and environmentally sustainable. So congrats to the Lynx bus system. And for anybody that depends on that bus system, you guys are likely to see some changes coming up here very soon. In the meantime, we're going to take another quick commercial break and come back with your business and sports stories.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up.
Well, somebody's got to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause my hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin clean. That's how I know they're clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong is woven like a washcloth and just cleans better.
Yeah, I'm Charmin
The
clean.
kid does have a
That's
point.
My hand is clean.
Enjoy the go with Charmin. And for an extra clean finish, try Charmin Flushable Wipes.
All right, guys, welcome back. And a quick business update for you. President Trump has now officially issued the executive order banning U.S. transactions with Chinese tech firms Tencent and ByteDance. So Tencent, of course, is the owner of the messaging app WeChat, and ByteDance owns TikTok. So those who use WeChat or TikTok, within 45 days, that ban will go into effect. So that's a bit of update. You guys have been hearing us kind of talk about what Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has been saying and kind of urging U.S. businesses to cut ties with Chinese tech firms. So here we go. President Trump has now signed that executive order. Now, WeChat, they said, quote, automatically captures vast swaths of information from its users. This data collection threatens to allow the Chinese Communist Party access to Americans' personal and proprietary information. This is what President Trump said in the executive order banning the app, adding that the app also captures personal information of Chinese nationals visiting the United States. Now, the order would basically ban the app in the US, as it would prohibit, quote, any transaction that is related to WeChat by any person or with respect to any property subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, with Tencent Holdings Limited. And of course, a similar order was issued for TikTok. So there you go. He says the popular app may also be used for disinformation campaigns that benefit the Chinese Communist Party. The US must take aggressive action against the owners of TikTok to protect our national security. And of course, you guys know the Microsoft transaction that was supposed to be going on. Microsoft is still in talks with ByteDance to acquire TikTok's business in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand within the next 3 weeks ahead of the September 15th deadline. We'll keep you apprised of that as well. Jumping down to sports, there's a congressional group that now wants the Landis name pulled from the MVP plaque. Now, here's a bit of history. A group of House Democrats called on Tuesday for the name of former baseball commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis to be pulled off of future MVP plaques, which is an idea endorsed by several players who also have won the award. Now, U.S. Representatives Gil Cisneros of California and Congressman Cedric Richmond out of Louisiana sent a letter that was signed by 28 other members of Congress to Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred, the current commissioner, and the Baseball Writers Association of America, asking for action there. Now, in late June, former NL MVPs Barry Larkin, Mike Schmidt, and Terry Pendleton told the Associated Press that they would favor removing Landis's name from the trophy because of concerns over how he handled Black players during his tenure. Now, the letter read, quote, "We recognize that Commissioner Landis' namesake on the award is the result of his role in creating the system by which the Baseball Writers Association of America picks each league's MVP recipient. However, given that Commissioner Landis perpetuated baseball's, quote, gentleman's agreement to keep Black players out of the major leagues, we agree it is time to remove his name from the award and move toward a more inclusive award designation." Now, to give you guys a little bit of baseball history, Landis was hired as MLB's first commissioner back in 1920, and he was its commissioner until his death in late 1944. Now, after his death, of course, legendary Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. He broke it in 1947, and Larry Doby followed later in that season. So a bit of an update there. We'll continue to keep you apprised of that as well, or more specifically, Casey Hudson will keep you apprised of that with the FNN Sports Take when she goes into all the details for you guys. Now, in the meantime, we're going to take another quick commercial break and then wrap up with your entertainment story. Stay tuned.
My name is Russell Drake. I'm an Orange County resident and a community advocate. On August 18th, I'm voting for Rick Singh. Rick Singh has been an outstanding property appraiser for the last 7 years. Under his leadership, he has returned $1 billion to the county. Under his leadership, property value has gone up, and he is now managing over $206 billion in assets, the most in county history. Under his leadership, there have been a series of awards won by his hard-working staff. He has set the tone for that. Furthermore, he's a man of his word. He's no stranger to the community. From the east to the west, from the north to the south, property appraiser Rick Singh is in the community. He held a series of Homestead Exemption seminars around the county, catering to your needs. Rick Singh is here for the people. So on August 18th, I encourage you and everyone you know to vote Rick Singh, re-elect him for property appraiser.
Re-elect Rick Singh for Orange County Property Appraiser.
All right, guys, welcome back as we wrap up with your entertainment story. Lizzo has inked a first look deal with Amazon. So congrats to Lizzo. The 3-time Grammy Award winning singer actually made the announcement by Zoom bombing into the beginning of Amazon's Virtual Television Critics Association session on Thursday. And for those of you who may not be familiar with what Zoom bombing is just yet, you're basically just invading a Zoom meeting, kind of like a photo bomb or a video bomb or something like that. So she just jumped into their meeting to make the announcement. Of course, she is very excited for that deal. And Amazon, for their part, is also excited. She said, quote, "I'm so excited to partner with the amazing team at Amazon." She said, "Thank you to Jen Salk and the rest of the team for making this dream come true. I can't wait to get started and share my vision with the world." Essentially, the deal is for her to be able to create content and have it distributed on the Amazon platform. So congrats to her on that. Amazon Studios head Jennifer Salk said, quote, "Lizzo is one of the most exciting, creative, joyful artists in the industry. And it is such a pleasure to announce this new deal with her. She has such a unique perspective, and we're so excited to hear her ideas for new content that our Prime Video customers are sure to love." So if you're a Amazon Prime Video subscriber, take a look out. You guys will be able to see the new content when that comes out. And again, congrats to Lizzo for that. That does it here for us at the Evening News Rundown, guys. If you haven't yet, be sure to follow, subscribe, hit the like button. You can find us everywhere at Florida National News. We want to make sure that we are as easy to find as possible. A couple of our other pages on Facebook include FNN News TV and FNN News Live if you're interested. If you're on YouTube, also be sure to click the bell. Don't just hit the subscribe button, but also click the bell icon to get all notifications for all of our shows. Now, in the meantime, another quick reminder for those of you who are interested in advertising with us, you can just drop us an email at ads@floridanationalnews.com and we'll get started with you. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for your time. Have a great rest of your Friday evening. Take care.